Remembering my son, Timothy Francis Donnelly, on November 3rd, 2012. Moving through grief is a lot like peeling an onion. You cry as you peel layer after layer until you finally get to the core. Only after the tears can you taste the sweetness in the guacamole as you dip and scoop. As I was peeling my onion, my cousin loaned me the book Shift Happens by Robert Holden. I read his copy. Then I bought the Audible version and listened to it twice. That book gave me something I knew was in my heart, but I didn't know how to put into words. The Tim that I saw was a pure, intuitive, loving soul, even though he didn't always see himself that way. He had a powerful ego that locked him into a daily battle with substance abuse. I felt terrible sadness for a life cut short for a reason I could not justify. But I loved him anyway, and I loved him unconditionally. I feel his loss deeply, but when I listened to Robert Holden, I realized that even in my sadness, I can be joyful that Tim is not locked into a disease that usurps the body and the mind. I can be joyful that he's not in that painful daily struggle anymore. In Shift Happens, Robert Holden talks about the unreasonable happiness experiment he did to prove that anyone can be unreasonably happy for no reason. Shortly after his book, Laughter is the Best Medicine, was published, he did an interview on BBC where the announcer played a tape of the most blissful belly laughter you could ever imagine. Afterwards, the phone lines became jammed with people, including a teacher, a doctor, a florist, a bank manager, and even a clown. Happiness needs no reason, said one caller. I've always said happiness is in the heart, said another. Happiness is free and a good laugh costs nothing, said another. Thanks for reminding me to laugh, said another. The final call was from a woman who sounded depressed and lonely. Do you really believe in unreasonable happiness, Robert? I told her that most days I remember happiness needs no reason, love needs no reason, and kindness needs no reason, but I also have days when I forget to. The woman then said, I'm having one of those days today. I just couldn't see a reason to be happy. But now I'm thinking maybe I don't need a reason. The highest truth is, you do not need a reason to be happy. Your ego will disagree with this, however, because ego uses reasons as its chief currency for being, doing, and giving. Everything must have a reason according to the ego, like I will be happy if, and I will be happy when, and I will be kind if, and I will love you when. So, says Robert Holden, I invite you just for a moment to meditate on unreasonable joy. See if you can let your innate joy bubble up for no good reason. Dial direct to your unconditioned self and surrender to the thought of unreasonable joy. No striving, no earning, no deserving, no reason necessary. Reasons, conditions, and rules are really covert resistance to joy, innocence, and being unconditional again. Experiment today with being more unreasonable than usual. Remind yourself how easy it can be to choose joy, choose love, and choose kindness. Here are some suggestions to start you off. Be unreasonably kind to yourself today. Kiss your partner for no reason at all. Drink champagne just for the fun of it. Smile the unreasonable smile at work. Call a friend for no specific reason. Send flowers to a friend just because. Choose to have a great day, regardless. Dress up, eat out, your treat, no reason. Let no reason stop you being you today. In truth, there is no good reason not to be loving, not to be kind, and not to be joyous. Be unreasonable. These words from Robert Holden have stuck with me, and I remember that peeling my onion includes the happiness and joy of day-to-day living. As I reflect on my feeling of loss, on a beautiful life extinguished too soon. I'm also joyful because my love for Tim remains deep and strong, and I know his presence will live on. I know that moving forward means living in what often seems like an unreasonable world. This requires forgiving with all of my heart, offering love to the unlovable, smiling in spite of unfathomable sadness, appreciating all of life's shifting tides, unpredictable twists and turns, and finding the unconditional joy in each layer. I'd like to read one of Tim's favorite poems. It's called Footprints in the Sand. One night, a man had a dream. He dreamed he was walking along the beach with the Lord. Across the sky flashed scenes from his life. For each scene, he noticed two sets of footprints in the sand, one belonging to him and the other to the Lord. When the last scene of his life flashed before him, he looked back at the footprints in the sand. He noticed that many times along the path of his life, there was only one set of footprints. He also noticed that it happened at the very lowest and saddest times in his life. This really bothered him, and he questioned the Lord about it. Lord, you said that once I decided to follow you, you'd walk with me all the way. But I've noticed that during the most troublesome times in my life, there's only one set of footprints. I don't understand why, when I needed you the most, you would leave me. The Lord replied, my son, my precious child, I love you, and I would never leave you. During your times of trial and suffering, when you see only one set of footprints, it was then that I carried you